In this demonstration, we'll install Microsoft SQL 2012 Express Edition as our database, which is included with the distribution media in the redist folder. In the SQL Express subfolder, you'll find a README text file containing instructions, a configuration file to guide the installation, and the SQL Express package. Open the configuration file for editing. Scroll through the options, which should not be changed. At the bottom you will find the password assigned to the Database Administrator SA account. You can change this before starting the installation. Remember to keep the quotations around the password. For this demonstration, we will leave the default. I'm going to copy the configuration file to a more convenient location for the installation. The installation command requires a full path to the configuration file. The root of the C drive will be easy to locate. Now open a command prompt and navigate to the Installation Media SQL Express subfolder. Enter the command to start the installation. As explained in the README file, the command parameters include the full path to the configuration file as well as a license agreement switch. The installation will take several minutes to complete. The installation finishes quietly and you will be returned to the command prompt. You can find the SQL Server components by opening All Programs, where you'll find the SQL Server shortcuts. This concludes the database installation. To begin the CMS and components installation, launch the Setup Wizard from your installation media. The wizard will check for some required components and install them if needed. Click Install to proceed. Click Next at the Welcome screen. Then read and accept the license agreement. You can enter your name and company name. The username here is not used for login purposes. The installation folder screen gives you the option to alter the default folder installation structure. This course assumes the defaults. The database identification screen sets up access to your installed database. In this demonstration, we installed the included SQL Server 2012 Express Edition on the local machine and left the default SA password in the configuration file. If you have a database on a different server, enter the details to access that database server here. When you click Next, the installation wizard will test the connection to the database. Enter the credentials for an existing Windows account that will be used as the primary administrator of CA DataMinder Express. An endpoint installation package can be created which is pre-configured to point to this CMS. Note the folder location where the files will be created. That's all we need. Click Install to start the installation. The installation does not take long. You can monitor progress as the individual components are installed. Click Finish when the installation is complete. Next, we'll perform a quick test of the installation by opening both the iConsole and Administration Console. An iConsole shortcut is created on the desktop. If you are logged into the server with the same account assigned as the CA DataMinder primary administrator, access will be granted. If not, enter the credentials of the primary administrator. The default home page will be displayed. Since no data has yet been captured, the incident portlets will be blank. Now let's bring up the Administration Console. Click Connect to connect to the CMS. You can navigate around to view the data structure. Expand the Machine Administration branch to expose your CMS. You can click on the machine to get basic information about it displayed in the right pane. This concludes our installation of the CMS and core components. When you install the CMS, a set of endpoint installation files are created. For a simple manual endpoint installation or through a login script, copy these files to a network location your endpoints can access. Once the files are available on the network, log on to the endpoint with an account having administrative privileges. Navigate to the network location of the installation files. Run the installation batch file. This installation wizard will also check for some required components and install them if necessary. A reboot is required for the installation to complete. For this first installation, I'll show you the agents installed as part of the endpoint package. After rebooting and again logging into the endpoint, access the Control panel and open Programs. Select the CA DataMinder client and click Change to open the installer. Choose Modify to see which components have been installed. Here you can see that the installation wizard detected the presence of Microsoft Outlook and installed that agent. If Notes was the default email program, the Lotus Notes agent would have been installed instead. The file system, print, and network agents are also installed. I am satisfied with this installation and will cancel out. Now let's take a look at the services installed. The services installed include the file scanning agent, infrastructure, the policy engine, and message queuing service. This concludes the endpoint installation. In this demonstration, we'll test the installation by setting an email policy to intervene with a warning. We'll then have a user email a file that we know violates policy. To start, open the iConsole. The home page takes a few seconds to load. When the iConsole is ready, access the Policy tab. Then click to open the Express Policy Pack. For this demonstration, we have a file containing several fictitious U.S. Social Security numbers. We can set up a policy that monitors for numbers in that format. For your testing, choose any appropriate policy. Expand the Personally Identifiable Information branch and expand National ID numbers. Here you'll find an assortment of National ID numbers policies predefined. For your testing, choose an appropriate policy and create a test file with many of your chosen ID numbers in the file. I'll use Social Security number threshold. Click the email policy to open it. The policies included with the Express Policy Pack have the control action set to monitor by default. This means that the end user will not be informed of potential policy violations, but these incidents will be captured and available for review in the iConsole. This is a good way to review your policy actions without impacting your end users. After monitoring the performance, you can then change the control action to warn or block, which will be visible to end users. Here I'll change the control action to warn, which will present the intervention dialog box to the end user if violations are detected. Then close the policy and click Apply to save the changes. Click OK to exit the policy pack. Policy changes will automatically be propagated out to endpoints, but that can take some time. For testing purposes, you can force propagation out to endpoints via the Administration Console. Initially, you'll find the Administration Console link in the Start menu. In the Administration Console, click Connect. Access the Tools menu and select Replicate Changes to Clients. click Yes on the confirmation screen. Next, we'll log on to the endpoint where we've installed the endpoint agents. We'll log on as user Andy Jones. Andy will open Outlook and create a new email. We'll send it to someone else in the organization. Note the subject Test 1, which we'll use later to identify this email. Next, Andy will attach a file that we know will violate policy. Andy sends the email with attached HR spreadsheet. CA DataMinder quickly examines the email and attachment, which triggers a policy violation. The user intervention dialog is presented. The dialog contains the policy name that triggered the warning and contact information, which we have not yet customized, of our local security contact. The dialog also provides general guidance to the end user. Andy is aware of the sensitive information contained in the attachment, double checks that he is sending it to the correct person, and clicks Continue to send the email. Now let's return to the iConsole and open the Review tab. Here we can run an express search to see recent incidents. When the search results are displayed, we can see that the incident has been captured. Click on a blank area of the incident to open the mini pane. The mini pane displays summary information such as the action the user took and the policy triggered. Expand the mini pane to see details about data that caused the policy to fire. The attachment is also captured for review. The appropriate program is required to open the various file types that may be captured. This concludes the quick test of the CA DataMinder installation.